We are in the Sierra foothills with a very familiar face, KCRA meteorologist Eileen Javora. Eileen, thank you for talking with us.
Great.
And I know
Yeah.
there's a special part of the valley that you call home. Talk about what the Sacramento Valley means to you.
It means, well, for now, it means family. You know, I came to the Sacramento region in 2005. I lived in the valley for a while, and now I call the Sierra foothills my home.
And how is it reporting on the weather in this region? I know you've worked all over the place and you grew up on the East Coast.
That's right. I have forecasted in the Midwest, the Northeast, the South. I lived in Florida for a while forecasting there, and then now here in Northern California. And the thing is, I liked forecasting in those areas, but I like forecasting and living here.
Okay.
You just can't beat living here.
Why do you think that is? Why do you think the Sacramento Valley is such a special place?
You know, it's got that great mix of, you can be anywhere in a car drive. Everybody says that first. But really, when you get down to it, this area has a long history of agriculture. I married into an agriculture family, and it's just, I just love the family aspect of that. And I have two little girls, ages 2 and 4, and they're growing up being surrounded by tractors. And that's, you know, kind of our deal right now. And I think that's why I love living here so much, is just to pass on that heritage that I have, you know, fallen into with the family that I married into.
And seasons, let's talk different seasons. Is there a season in the Sacramento Valley that you enjoy forecasting more than other seasons? I know summer is pretty consistent.
You know, it's funny. I like forecasting in the winter a lot. The rain, the snow, the elevation, it's a real challenge. And then once you kind of go into the springtime months, we get thunderstorms here in Northern California. That's kind of fun to forecast. Now, living-wise, my favorite season is summer. I just love the heat here. Growing up on the east, I do.
Oh my goodness.
Well, and the reason is, back east, you grow up with a lot of humidity, and here I find it just so tolerable. If you get in the shade and take it easy in the afternoon, the heat just feels really good. I'm kind of a summer baby.
Okay. Oh, that's good to know.
Yeah.
So when you're reporting on KCRA and saying it's going to be 104,
Usually I'm okay with 100. Anything
Okay,
above that
yeah,
is
exactly.
90 is my absolute favorite temperature.
Okay.
90.
Okay, and we have had an interesting spring. It's been a little different than in the years past.
Yeah, we've had such dry springs and late winters recently. You have to go back to 2011 to find any kind of spring or late winter that was really kind of impressive with rain and snow. But this one has been an average, at least, so it's getting us back on track a little bit after a couple of years of really dry springs. And so in the Sacramento Valley, for the most part, we have had average rain. But that's good compared to the last couple of years.
Right, and that's a good point, because obviously we are in a historical drought, and I am getting a lot of questions. Is the drought over? Is the drought over? I imagine you are getting that same question.
Sure, and it's a tricky answer, because the reason is, first of all, California is a huge state. We get our water in all different ways. Northern California versus Southern California. If you break it up individually into regions, that's also a kind of a different beast altogether in terms of, is the drought over? Some folks saw water being dumped out of reservoirs because it couldn't hold it this winter. You know, would they consider themselves then in a drought still? Talk to friends in Southern California. They are just hard pressed to get the rain. They didn't see the average or above average rain like we did here in Northern California. So for them, yeah, drought's still on. They get their water in different ways. So it's a really complicated answer.
Absolutely.
And a little bit more for government and districts to signify the drought is over. But certainly an average-ish year is not going to end a big drought like we're in.
Absolutely.